And let's see if I have any questions on the internet. What changes in taxes would you make to, I will let our Channel 19 folks take the microphone. Thank you all for being here. I do have a question. I'm going to take one off the web and then I'll come back to you. Let's see, what changes in taxes would you make to stimulate Alabama's economy? I think our payroll taxes, especially from a small business standpoint, are too high. We should be looking at ways to cut those payroll taxes down. If we can cut payroll taxes in Alabama to the businesses that are here, they should turn around and generate into new startup opportunities and jobs. And by growing the job base and people in the area paying more in the goods and services that they buy, we can increase the general fund and increase the education trust fund as well. Growing jobs in Alabama is probably the key thing that we need to do to solve the issues as far as our state funding and also stimulate the economy through lower taxes. Do you have another question?
Just a second. Write down what you just
said. If you miss a question, if you're in the media and you've missed a question out there, you can always go back. We'll stream this live all day and keep it out there as an archive at any time. It looks like there's a lot of questions about schools. How do you think we should solve the budget shortfall with the schools? And the question was taxes or cuts. Again, if we cut taxes in certain areas, I'm not, in fact, I've taken the no tax pledge. I will not be in favor of anything that raises taxes. If we cut the taxes, we can stimulate the economy in Alabama. Not only can we stimulate the economy, we stimulate the ability for people to start businesses, and small businesses are where most of the jobs will come from. I gave an example to some folks not too long ago of where we're bringing in large plants like the German company that's coming in, which is not a bad business, but it creates a lot of new infrastructure problems as well. But we gave $800 million tax incentive for them. Had we taken $800 million tax incentive and given it to small business, we would have created jobs all over the state and not simply in one region. So I think we really ought to take a look at that kind of tax incentive first for the citizens and people here in Alabama so that we do grow jobs, which also grows the Education Trust Fund as well as the General Fund. And I'm looking back over. She's still writing. I must be saying some things that are interesting.
I'm a dinosaur. I'm using this pen and paper.
Okay. I have one person who apparently did not have any sound on theirs, and we apologize for that. And I'll ask Chris to check the sound, make sure that it's coming in, because I've gotten several that says there is sound, but there may have been a section of time here where the sound dropped out. And again, it's live, and we apologize for any of those that may be going on, but Chris is now listening, and apparently the sound is back. And I have a question from here.
Yes, if you could just tell me what qualifications you have that you think would help the state of Alabama at this particular point in time. Well,
I am running as a businessman, and the qualifications are from the fact that being in business, I've seen both sides of the fence of being in small business and working with a lot of large businesses as well. We have contracts with several of the large businesses here in town, so we're very aware of their contractual procedures and what it takes to actually do business with the federal government primarily here in Alabama. But the skills and the ability to run a business and to make a payroll and to balance a budget and to live within your means is the types of skills I think that we need down in Montgomery, which is what I think sets me apart from the others. We really don't need to go down there and have people who are, and not to discredit any of the other candidates, but we don't need any more trial lawyers or lawyers that are creating more law for us to have to bind us up. We need people down there who can go down there and say, you know what, let's take a common sense approach to Alabama funding and the issues here. You know, issues like tort reform, which is not big on the political list right now, but we don't need to have a lot of lawsuits that are taking place where there's big payouts. we need to limit that. And I know that was a big issue years ago, not so much now, but that is something that I think would help Alabama a lot, is to limit the fees or the money that can be made in any particular lawsuit. We don't need to be a class of people suing each other. We can solve our problems. All we've got to do is talk to each other. And now there are times when you need to go to court and use a lawyer, but most of the time issues can be solved simply by talking it out and coming to a reasonable settlement between each other. As far as other issues of why I think you should vote for me, they're on the website. First of all, I'm a Christian conservative, fiscally conservative, as well as socially conservative. I do believe in smaller government, no new taxes, and streamlining government. So those are all issues I think that play very well here in the Huntsville, Madison County, North Alabama area, and I truly am that kind of person. So if I go down to Montgomery, you'll know what you'll get and what kind of voter you'll get for issues down there.
Those questions that you're receiving online right now, are most of them economy-based?
It looks that way. It looks like the questions have to do with the budget, raising or lowering taxes. The last one here, and I'm just going to read it live, is what role can the state play in dealing with the cost of health care? Very good question. One thing we can do is make sure that we eliminate these lawsuits that are helping drive up the cost of health care. And I don't mean the lawsuits that are genuine lawsuits, but we need to be looking at what it takes to make sure that they're not frivolous lawsuits out there, and make sure that that would help a whole lot, just keeping those down. The other thing we can do also is in our immigration bills. We need to make sure that if you're an illegal immigrant here in Alabama, that you know that this is not a sanctuary state. You need to go back to your place of origin and do it right. We love immigrants in Alabama who come here under the right pretenses, pay the taxes, and do the right things. What we don't want is illegal immigrants coming in here using our social services in such a way that it depletes those for the citizens that are here in Alabama. That by itself could help bring health care costs down.